Congrats on fully completing the Blender basics. At this point, I hope you feel comfortable navigating the app and have a better understanding of what all Blender can do. Though, if you've never used a 3D software before, it may all still feel a little bit abstract, because it's one thing to know what a tool does, and another to know how to use it effectively to create what you want. So that's what we're going to focus on next. In the following course, we'll use all the skills we practiced in these lessons to create this fun mini game console. The course is completely free and you can find it on cgcookie.com in the link below. If you do decide to join CG Cookie, I would really recommend tackling the Fundamentals series after that. Those are the really thorough introductory courses that will get you up and running with modeling, sculpting, lighting, texturing, shading, rigging, and animation. There's more central computer graphics info in just those few courses than the first year or so of art school, so it's a great place to start. After that, we have plenty of project-based courses that will help you get more and more comfortable with making things on your own, and those range from beginner to advanced, and our site will help you keep track of your progress along the way. The main recurring theme is that how you learn Blender, or anything really, depends on your goals. Are you doing it for fun as a hobby? Are you trying to create something specific? Or are you trying to get a job as quickly as possible? That will dictate the kind of pace that you'll want to learn at, what sort of programs you'll want to learn in addition to Blender, or what sort of hardware you'll get, and all that kind of stuff. Of course, your specific situation is going to be unique to you, but I get some of the same questions all the time, so let me run through some general advice that should apply to most people. First, what kind of computer should you get for Blender? Of course, that depends on your budget, but if you want to research the best bang for your buck, then go to opendata.blender.org to see how different CPUs and GPUs will perform for Blender specifically. Second, a lot of people ask whether or not they should get a tablet. We have a whole article about that which I'll link to below, but in short, you don't have to for modeling and most 3D tasks, but I definitely would if you plan to do a lot of sculpting and texture painting. It doesn't have to be fancy or even have a screen, and there are plenty of fairly inexpensive ones that you can get online. Next, I want to talk about add-ons. These Python scripts can help extend the functionality of Blender, and you can find some online for free, while others are for sale on the Blender market. I make add-ons myself, so obviously I think that they can be totally worth saving you time, but I want to really stress that they're not magic and will not automatically make your work better. Unless they're implementing some really specific feature which Blender lacks that you desperately need, they're just time savers. So just as they might quickly get you to a better result, they can also quickly get you into trouble if used in the wrong way. That's why I generally recommend learning how to do things the long way first, at least once or twice, before using a shortcut. That way it'll help you avoid some confusion, and if you do end up using a shortcut later, your use of it will be much more effective. Okay, now for software. If you're just doing this as a hobby, then it doesn't really matter what software you use, so I'll aim this at people who are looking to do 3D as a career. In general, my advice is to learn Blender first. That way you can get the core concepts of computer graphics down without having to invest anything other than time. There are more tutorials for Blender than anything else, so it'll be faster to pick up, and since you can use it alongside any other app, it'll be a good backup to have up your sleeve even if you end up switching to an entirely different 3D program. Then, once you've gotten some solid portfolio pieces under your belt, you'll want to look up what the companies you want to work for are using and try to learn those tools too. It's going to be different for every studio, but you'll probably want to learn Substance Painter, Houdini, Maya, Unreal or Unity, ZBrush, and/or Marvelous Designer, if any of those are related to your area of focus. Speaking of, it may be a good idea to pick one area of the 3D pipeline to focus on if your goal is to work at a large studio, but only after you have a good understanding of the fundamentals. Even if all you want to do is animation, you'll probably have to tweak some models at some point, and even if you're a modeler, you'll probably need to do some rigging or texturing. So definitely work on learning the basics of the entire process before spending too much time on one particular area. Knowing how your work is going to be used by other people along the way will absolutely make you better at your job. And since modeling is kind of the foundation of the whole thing, that's where I'd recommend starting if you're not sure. Okay, so I hope you found that helpful. Thanks for watching the Blender basics all the way to the end. Special thanks to Omar Dominic for creating those awesome animations that you saw at the beginning of each episode. Check the links in the description for those next steps courses, and hopefully I'll see you on cgcookie.com.